Alright, sup fellow citizens, welcome back to the Path of Rage and our next installment of Star Citizen news. This week has been a somewhat quiet and busy week at the same time. Quiet in the fact that we have no video updates in the form of Star Citizen Live or Inside Star Citizen or new ship releases or anything like that. However, what we did do is get a couple of big releases. 4.2 itself went live, but the day before and currently going on through the weekend is the 4.2.1 test, and that's bringing even more missions in. We're going to talk all about it, so let's get into it. So last Wednesday, CIG released Star Citizen Alpha 4.2.1 to the Evocati. It was NDA, so we couldn't film any footage of it at that point, but it was focusing on the latest stability and bug fixes, as they always are, but a new resource gathering event. The Second Life resource drive set of missions that they're adding in to actually go towards a more PvE focused style of gameplay as opposed to the Hathor and the ASD facilities in Pyro. The patch notes on this event read as following: Resource gathering event. A shocking discovery reveals that imprint technology is failing. We know about this already. An upsetting number of population are not actually regenning, meaning death might not have been conquered after all. To calm the public, Imperator Addison relaxes restrictions on scientific exploration in a desperate effort to find a solution, leading to some dubious research initiatives cropping up in the universe. All four corporations of the Stanton system are fighting for resources to help win a research contract. Whichever corporation has the highest amount of contributed SCU by the end of the event will be the winner of the contract. These resources can be gathered by any means necessary. Players will only be able to partake in the missions if they do not have a crime stat of 3 or higher. Now, I like this. This is definitely going to encourage the murder hobos to not show up right at the beginning of a new event. Now, the thing about this is it's not necessarily an event in one location. There are different tasks that you can perform. Resource gathering, where you can get certain resources and gather them and bring them to certain places. I believe it's corundum, tungsten, and copper. Now, you can't actually buy these in-game. At Station Blend, you have to mine them for the purposes of this mission. I think if you were able to buy them in-game at mining stations, I don't think you can now. I'm not sure. Someone in the comments can let me know. The next is Recover Cargo, where players go to retrieve cargo from a vessel that has either broken down or been attacked, or retrieve a cargo from a stolen stash. The third is Support Attacked Ship, so this is a defend a ship against waves of enemies trying to destroy and rob the ship. And of course, hauling missions that, you bring your you haul your SCU from one place to another. Now, the gameplay that you're seeing in the background while I'm telling you these notes is from the Recover Cargo mission. So you'll see while we're going through these notes that I will be attacked by a bunch of smaller ships in my Cutlass, and I will have to board a freelancer, open the back door, take the cargo out, and deliver it to Seraphim Station. These are sprinkled all over the Stanton system. So once again, we've gone from Pyro with the Stormbreaker missions that just came out in 4.2, and here at 4.2.1 we're going back with a new set of missions to Stanton. And again, this is what you're watching in the background. Now, the very next day after 4.2.1 went to Evo, 4.2 went live for all backers, and it brought all the stuff that we've been going over in the last couple of episodes. The new Stormbreaker activity, new environmental hazard, which is radiation, which you will need proper suits to live through or you will die from it. Wickelow's Emporium Exchange updates, new equipment swapping hierarchy. They did a exterior proxy pass on the Stanton space station and landing zones, added 4 new hairstyles, a new Valakar fauna. In the ships and vehicles area for the patch, we got the Argo Atlas Icti, the Geo Icti, and the Icti Rad. You have to go to Wicklow to get these and bring an Atlas with you, but this is how you get a jumping, gun-enabled Atlas mech in this game. We've got the new Asperia Prowler utility vehicle. We've had updates to the scanning mode and targeting UI, shield regen updates, Prowler, Idris, and Starlancer series updates, updates to the missile and torpedo balance, ground vehicle scanning adjustments, flight turbulence. This one's causing a bit of problems. I'll get into that in a second. Some sweeping component health updates and an Atlas freight elevator usage. So you can actually call your Atlas up on the freight elevator. I haven't actually tried this yet. I forgot they added it in. Sound off in the comments below if you have, if this one actually works. Now, the flight turbulence has kind of set the forums on fire a bit because it's not working as intended. What it is when you have ships, you're flying your ships and you have your vehicles stored in your ships, there's supposed to be a bit of a shake so that ships don't feel static. They're not just floating there completely still. They want to make it seem a bit more realistic. These settings, however, have been tuned a little bit too high in the live environment, and people are having a hard time controlling their ships. YogiClat was in the forums talking about that. They know, they're aware of it, and a fix is incoming, just a matter of when it does, but they're aware of it and they're working to solve that issue right now. In the weapons and items category, we got the new Volt Prism shotgun, which is apparently the best gun in the game now, a new decon pen for Cure Life, a balance pass to the R97 shotgun, and a tweak to the armor resistances for radiation. And finally, in the core tech for the patch, they added the new dynamic rain, the flight blades, the bomb racks, and harvestable additions have been brought in, and they've done various optimizations on client server and networking performances. I will give you full disclosure right now, I have literally played no more than an hour of 4.2 live because I've been testing out the new stuff, again, that you're seeing in the background here in 4.2.1 in the time that I can set aside to actually game. And then finally we get to the meat and potatoes, which is the 4.2.1 patch on Friday, which is what you're seeing in the background right now. We got some stability and bug fixes. Rewards are now functioning for the event for Second Life Resource Drive. You weren't actually able to get some of your rewards. Some people were, some people weren't. When you are carrying something now and you fall because of damage, you will no longer just drop the item right at your feet. You will throw it in a more realistic manner. They also took out some X-Collector tinted special weapons and put them into the loot pool as rare loot in the Persistent Universe. And that is it so far for the updates. Now, my experience in 4.2.1, it's running fairly well. I've had some desync going on. The missions that I've done so far are working fairly well, but they do surprise me as well. Like the recover cargo mission kind of surprised me because I did it twice. The first time was what you're seeing here in front of you, and I went and got the cargo, fought off the enemies or whatnot. The second time I did it, it took me to a ground base, and I needed to be far more prepared for that one because I had to approach an enemy faction hostile base which had functioning turrets that tear your ship absolutely apart. I had to park a long ways away from it out of line of sight. It made me very much wish for a ground vehicle, and especially because when I got into the bunker, it wasn't just one or two boxes, it was 15 of them that I then had to kill the few guys that were there. I think it was about 6 or 7, and then one by one with my hand tractor beam carry these boxes through the facility to the elevator, go up the elevator, and carry these boxes one at a time, throwing them as far as I could with the tractor beam tool over and over and over again for about a kilometer and a half. So there is some variety to these missions. It isn't going to be that once you do it, it might be that's the way it's going to go every time. Hopefully CIG's got a a couple of different ways these can work out for each mission. I don't know if that's the case. Again, I've only done a couple of them so far, but I did have 2 versions on the same mission. I also did a hauling mission, which was exactly what you think it is. That was no real surprise. And now I have left to try the supporting the attacked ship, and then after that I'll do resource gathering with some mining if I have to rent a mining vehicle. But so far, that is where we stand. They're looking to add these missions in to the Persistent Universe in Stanton in the upcoming 4.2.1. This is basically the same mission we had before with the resources. Not a line in mine. Oh, I can't remember. We had to bring resources and hand them in over and over again. It'll come to me again. Sound off in the comments if it comes to you before it comes to me. But in any case, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing in this current patch. It has had some bugs, but nothing that have broken my game, to be honest. What I've been reading in the Evocati chat is more towards sometimes enemies don't show up, the mission won't continue, but that's kind of a server issue that's been going on forever. So hopefully CIG has got that in mind and working towards solving that, because, you know, we need to get that done. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this update. I hope you found it informative. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, if you want to hear more. And until next time, I'm going to leave the rest of this mission play out so that you guys can enjoy it and check it out, see it for yourself. And I will see you in the next one.
Weapons online. Engines online. Engines offline.
Well, everything looks in order, so let me get you paid. But the most valuable reward is knowing that you help people today.